Now, I'm not entirely sure what you like to do with your Sundays, but I'm a pretty big fan of standing in the cold talking shit to complete strangers about cars. However, you can only do this for so long, otherwise you'll end up catching type 2 diabetes from inhaling second-hand strawberry cheesecake vape clouds from those bloody Subaru owners. So instead of partaking in the wonderful event of chatting absolute nonsense to car enthusiasts, I've decided to use my time wisely and explore some of the best car showrooms that the United Kingdom has to offer. And since this is the first in the series, I thought I'd start off with a bang, so I've visited a pretty special place. Hopefully I can do it justice with the camera. Here we go. You've probably guessed where I've came to today by the title of the video, and you've more than likely seen one or two famous YouTube faces picking their cars up from this establishment in the past. Redline specialist cars have some of the best performance, super and hypercar stock in the country, and what surprised me when I turned up was the sheer volume of cars that they have on the premises. If you were to see any of the cars parked up outside the showroom out on the open road, your jaw would hit the floor, but once you take a step inside, everything on the other side of those glass planes seems to be eclipsed. Now, I haven't been in many specialist showrooms like this before, and that's partly why I've decided to make these videos, because you probably haven't either. But usually, there's a theme. Joe Macari in London are brim with classic Ferraris. Specialist cars are Molten are the guys to go to if you want an old school Porsche. But that's not the case with Redline, or at least it doesn't seem that way with the current array of cars that they've got in. The variety of brands that this stock is astonishing. Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Bugatti, Aston Martin. They even had a track-focused BAC mono tucked away to one side, and that's just what they had indoors. There must have been another 80 to 85 cars outside on the forecourt, ranging from 25k all the way up to and beyond £100,000. If you're after a bit of German muscle, they had plenty of that in the shape of multiple M4s and G-Wagons, to the more refined and subtle powerhouses of RS6s and AMG GTs. Although it's great for a company like this to have as many cars on site as they do, it's a bit of a nightmare for the weirdos like me that turn up and ask to film them, because they're that tightly packed in you can never seem to get a decent shot of them all. That, as well as the Great British weather making an appearance, forced me to retreat back into shelter. And to be honest, I don't think I could have found a better building to take cover in. In fact, it just gave me more of an excuse to wander around gawping at some of these machines that most people probably only ever see on a poster. Do they even make posters anymore, Luke? It's 2020. I should have said Instagram. Christ, I'm old. Speaking of old, I brought my old man with me to this garage. It's good to get him out the house every now and again, you know, he's getting on a bit now. And he fell in love with this 911 964 Turbo. Yeah, it was pretty nice, like. Apparently it was this very car that they used in the film Bad Boys, you know, just because it wasn't cool enough already. I tried to convince him to have a look in a neighbouring GT2 RS, the modern day beefed up equivalent, but he said, and I'm just quoting this, "That's something a vegan would drive, son. Only meat eaters would be seen in one of these bad boys." And I swear to God that's before he knew the link to the film. Must have some sort of sixth sense. As well as those two lovely porkers, they had a GT3 RS and something even rarer which you don't see many of at all. A third of the Holy Trinity, a Porsche 918. But yet again, the old man spoilt the moment by pointing out that the wheel spokes look a little bit like a load of penises, don't they, son? Cheers, Dad. Glad I brought you. Hidden away at the back of the showroom under the offices were probably two of the most underappreciated or just off-the-radar cars in there. Maybe it's because they weren't bright red or yellow, or just because of where they were parked. But in all the time I was walking around Redline, there were maybe 20-30 visitors. Only one person clocked the F12. And if I had to take a guess, he was only about 10-year-old. Parenting done right. Now, from one car that TGE has bought from here in the past to another, they currently have, I think, 3 Ferrari 488s in here, and 2 of those are pistas. It's the first time I've seen a pista next to its older brother, the 458 Speciale, and to be honest, you can't tell that the 458's 5 years older. It still looks absolutely stunning. Now, I don't know who's going to buy these cars or how often they're going to get used, but as far as daily drivers go in the supercar world, I think the Hurricane is probably the best all-rounder, and they had a couple of those in too. One in Spider form, and the other was the hardcore Performante, with a load of forged carbon goodness. The two reasons why I wanted to come down and visit Redline sooner rather than later was stowed away in a little roped off area, which unfortunately for me was just as hard to get around with the camera as it was outside, but I did manage to get a little bit of footage. Right at the back there was an Aston Martin Vanquish V12 Zagato shooting brake. Wow, what a machine. It's probably the only one that I'll ever see in person with my own eyes. It looked like it was lifted straight from a video game, and it had a whopping price tag on it too. £675,000. Jeez. If you like expensive though, I'm ending this video perfectly. Now, it's not the colour combo I'd personally go for if I had £2.15 million to spend, which I don't, you know, just to clarify. But I have to admit this Bugatti Veyron looked a lot nicer in the flesh than I was expecting. I'm not sure if that's because it reminded me of my favourite chocolate bar or not, but, you know, I've always got time for a car with as much history as the Veyron has. So there you have it, a quick tour around Redline specialist cars, and I don't know how I'm going to beat this one, to be honest. I know everyone's not into supercars, which is why in the next installment of this series I'm going to have a mooch around a Japanese import warehouse. So if you want to stick around and see that video, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you do, you might as well enter the giveaway that I've got running on my Christmas car video, and potentially win some free money as well. No brainer. Big thanks to the guys at Redline for letting me roam around with a camera, and hopefully I'll be back in the future actually buying a car from you. Yeah, right. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!